The afternoon sun blazed mercilessly as I stood in the unusually quiet house. Standing at the kitchen counter, I methodically sliced fresh fruits for a summer salad, attempting to keep my mind occupied. My husband was absent, as expected, consumed by his work commitments that seemed to take precedence over family time. I had become accustomed to the solitude and extended hours of separation. However, this particular day carried a different weight. The kitchen door creaked open as Jason, my 21-year-old stepson, made an unexpected appearance. He typically brought a natural warmth to any room, his youthful spirit infectious and uplifting. Through the years, I'd developed a genuine affection for him, considering him family. Recently, though, I'd detected subtle shifts in his demeanor around me, changes that were becoming increasingly difficult to dismiss. "Can I help?" he offered, his tone seemingly casual, yet carrying an undercurrent of uncertainty. His eyes moved from the fruit on the cutting board to my face, lingering a moment longer than usual. I responded with a smile, extending a knife toward him. "The cantaloupe needs cutting," I suggested. He stepped closer, positioning himself beside me and beginning to slice somewhat awkwardly. While his hands started steady, I noticed them gradually becoming less sure, developing a slight shake. Our hands accidentally touched as I reached for a nearby bowl, causing him to freeze momentarily before quickly withdrawing, mumbling an apology. "Don't worry about it," I responded casually, feigning obliviousness to the tension. Inside, however, I couldn't ignore my growing awareness of his presence. Throughout our task, I noticed his furtive glances, his eyes quickly averting whenever I turned his way. It was subtle, almost unnoticeable, but unmistakable. A new tension hung between us. The kitchen seemed to shrink around us, the atmosphere growing increasingly dense. "We've finished here," I announced, breaking through the silence as I transferred the completed salad to the counter. Jason nodded, his cheeks visibly flushed, as though embarrassed by unspoken thoughts. He hesitated longer than necessary before muttering something about a phone call and hastily departing. Alone again, I found myself staring at the vacant doorway, mentally reviewing our interaction. I attempted to rationalize it as nothing significant, perhaps just Jason being young and nervous about something unrelated, but my instincts suggested otherwise. The lingering looks, those brief physical contacts, his unsteady voice, everything seemed purposeful, even if unconsciously so. Later that evening, as I waited on the couch for my husband's return, I couldn't dismiss the sense that something fundamental had changed between Jason and me. It was subtle, like a whispered secret in a crowded room, but undeniably present, and try as I might, I couldn't pretend it away. The following days felt surreal, as if an invisible boundary had materialized between Jason and myself, though neither of us dared to acknowledge its existence. His presence in the house became more frequent, volunteering for household tasks he'd previously shown no interest in. Initially, I dismissed these changes, but gradually, the intentional nature of his increased presence became apparent. One afternoon, while I was folding laundry in the living room, Jason entered quietly. He settled onto the couch and switched on the television, saying little. As I continued with my task, I could sense his gaze upon me, stealing quick glances when he thought I wasn't aware. The atmosphere made me uncomfortable, though I struggled to maintain my composure. "You've been around more lately," he commented, his voice deliberately casual, but his expression betraying a deeper intensity. "Just trying to keep everything organized," I responded, avoiding his searching look. Silence descended between us, stretching uncomfortably long. When I finally raised my eyes to meet his, the intensity of his gaze, filled with what seemed like curiosity or perhaps something more profound, left me distinctly unsettled. Later that week, seeking solitude, I retreated to the pool area. My attempt at finding peace was short-lived as Jason appeared shortly after, claiming he needed a study break. Without ceremony, he tossed his towel aside and plunged into the water. From my position on the lounge chair, I feigned absorption in my book. However, when he emerged from the water, droplets cascading down his form, I couldn't resist a glance. Our eyes met, and for a moment, neither of us broke the connection. "Not joining me?" he inquired, his tone light but his eyes conveying deeper meaning. "No," I replied firmly. "I'm comfortable here." He drifted closer to the pool's edge, resting his arms on the concrete rim. His gaze held mine with an intimacy that felt inappropriate. I felt warmth spread through me, born not from the summer heat, but from the palpable tension between us. "You seem distant lately," he observed softly. I shrugged dismissively. "Just feeling tired, that's all." Though Jason didn't pursue the topic, his skeptical expression revealed he wasn't convinced by my explanation. Eventually, he pulled himself from the pool, drying off with his towel. As he passed by me, water dripping onto the sun-warmed concrete, my heartbeat quickened noticeably. In the solitude following his departure, I sat contemplating our interaction. There was no denying the shift in our dynamic, a change I wasn't prepared to address. His lingering looks, his constant proximity. These gestures had taken on new significance, moving beyond the realm of innocent stepson-stepmother interactions. It was intentional, and the gravity of the moment was undeniable. The night had settled in, and silence permeated the house. I'd ventured to the kitchen seeking water, hoping it might help clear my troubled thoughts. The atmosphere was stifling, not merely from the summer's warmth, but from the underlying tension that had been mounting these past weeks. Jason's unexpected presence, bare-chested and casually propped against the counter while peering into the refrigerator, startled me. "Still awake?" I managed, attempting to maintain composure, though my unsteady voice revealed my inner turmoil. "Sleep's not coming easy," he responded without turning. When he finally faced me, our gazes locked, and his expression revealed something unfamiliar, a blend of raw honesty and determination that caught me off guard. The subsequent silence stretched between us, heavy with unspoken thoughts. His stare was penetrating, focused not on the glass I held, but on me, with an intensity that made my skin tingle. "There's something I need to ask you," he ventured, uncertainty lacing his words. I cocked my head, feigning nonchalance. "What is it?" He paused before stepping nearer. "Have you ever felt like you're living someone else's life?" The question struck me unexpectedly. I studied his features, searching for the right response. "What do you mean exactly?" "I mean," he continued softly, "like you're destined for something different, something more significant. Like you're trapped in an existence that doesn't truly reflect who you are." His words resonated with emotions I'd long suppressed, leaving me unsettled. Before I could formulate a response, he moved closer, near enough that his presence enveloped me. "Jason," I began, but he interrupted. "I know this isn't right," he confessed, his voice unsteady. "I know these feelings are forbidden, but I can't suppress them. I've tried repeatedly, but it's impossible." I stood frozen, my heart thundering in my chest. "We shouldn't," I whispered, barely audible. He remained still, his gaze unwavering. "You consume my thoughts constantly. No matter how hard I fight it, you're there, in everything I see, everything I do." His confession hung between us, honest and unrestrained. I wanted to end this, to send him away, to erase this moment from existence. But something held me back. Something stronger than reason or propriety kept me rooted to that spot, unable to break away from his intense gaze. When his fingers grazed my arm, electricity coursed through my body. Every rational thought screamed at me to step back, to end this dangerous moment. Yet I remained motionless, allowing this forbidden instant to expand into something that would haunt us both. Then reality shifted. His mouth found mine, hesitant at the start, but swiftly growing bolder. The connection was devastating, all-consuming, and completely forbidden. I jerked away, moisture gathering in my eyes. "We have to stop," I whispered brokenly. Before he could speak, I fled the kitchen, leaving him alone with the weight of what had transpired. The following day was interrogeur de raiment. Every breath felt heavy with unspoken words and suppressed emotions. I deliberately avoided Jason's gaze, busying myself with routine activities, desperately seeking refuge in mundane normalcy. Yet his mere presence in a room sent my heart racing, his proximity overwhelming my senses. During breakfast, he sat silently across the table while my husband discussed his upcoming meetings, completely unaware of the crackling tension between his son and me. I pretended to listen, offering occasional nods, but my thoughts kept returning to that kiss. After my husband's departure, Jason remained behind. Despite my attempts to avoid him, his soft request, "We need to talk," stopped me in my tracks. Understanding the inevitability of this conversation, I wordlessly settled onto the couch's edge, maintaining maximum distance. "I apologize," he started. Remorse colored his tone. "I shouldn't have done that. I never meant to complicate things further." I shook my head, fingers intertwined tightly. "What happened last night was a mistake, Jason. We crossed boundaries we can't uncross." "I understand," he responded quickly, leaning forward. "I know it's wrong, but these feelings won't disappear. You've become the most important person in my life." His confession pierced my heart. Though I wanted to silence him, to push him away, the raw honesty in his voice paralyzed me. "This situation isn't fair," I managed, my voice unsteady. "Not to any of us, especially not to your father." The mention of his dad made him wince, but he persisted. "I can't control what I feel," he admitted quietly. "I know you feel this too. Don't deny it." The undeniable truth lingered between us. I couldn't continue pretending. Something had sparked between us, something inexplicable and unjustifiable, but that didn't make it acceptable. "Our feelings don't matter," I stated firmly despite my trembling voice. "We need to forget this, Jason. We can't continue this path." His eyes met mine, reflecting a storm of anguish and resolve. "I don't want to cause him pain," he whispered, "but I can't deny what's real anymore. You've awakened something in me that no one else has." Before I could formulate a response, the sudden crunch of gravel outside made us freeze. My husband had returned unexpectedly. Jason and I shared a moment of terrified recognition before he hastily rose, disappearing into his bedroom without uttering another word. As his figure vanished down the corridor, an inexplicable heaviness settled in my chest. The carefully maintained boundaries had crumbled, lines we'd sworn never to cross had been breached, and our world had irreversibly shifted. My heart waged conflict between duty, remorse, and an emotion too dangerous to acknowledge. For the first time, I stood at a crossroads, uncertain of my next move.